Let me look at parts of a circle. So, first of all, what is a circle? Now, everybody knows that everybody just thinks that circle is one round shape. Like, yes, it's a round shape, but circle is not the only round shape that we have. We have ellipse, we have oval shape. This is a circle. You can have ellipse like this. You can have an oval shape, like the shape of an egg. So, but something like this, yeah. But a circle is special, and why is it special? Because the center of it is at equal distance to every point on its sides. So, if from here to here is 5 meter, that means from here to here 2 will be what? 5 meter. From here to here 2 will be what? Will be 5 meter. But if we look at an ellipse now, if here to here is 5 meter, it's not possible from this place here to be 5 meter. 5 meter. It's not possible. If here is 5 meter, here will be another thing longer. That's why it's not a circle. This one do the same thing. So what makes a circle is that the center is what? At equal distance at every point on the what? On the side. So let's go further now to look at part of the circle. Now let me draw another just imagined or let me just imagine as a circle. And because I'm using free hand, what you can use to draw a circle is a compass. So this center now, this point here is called the center. It's called the center. From the center to any point, and the line you draw from the center to any point is called the radius. It's called the radius. You got here from here to can also be a radius. Can also be what? A radius. Here also can also be what? A radius. Are you getting it now? So this is a radius. The line drawn from the center of the circle to any point on the sides. And the name of the sides of a circle is called a circumference. A circumference. A circumference. Circumference. So it is the name given to the side of a circle, or you can say the distance around the circle. This distance traveled around the circle, or what do you say again? The side of a circle is called a what? A circumference. So the distance, the line drawn from the center to any point on the side or the circumference is called a what? A radius. Now looking at another circle again. Now let's look at another side, another part of the circle again. When you when you have a center, when you have a line moving from one point of the circumference to another point, but it's passing through the center. So now this line is drawn from here, this side of the circle here, going to another side, but it's passing through the center. It's called a what? We call it what? A diameter. A diameter. Sorry, there's no space here. A diameter. Let me use another. A diameter. A diameter. So it is a diameter. The line drawn from one side of a circle to another side of the circle, passing through the center, is called a what? A diameter. Now, if you have another line moving from one side of the circle to another side, but it's not passing to the center, it's moving from one side of the circle now to another side, but it's not passing to the center, it is called a what? It is called a chord. We call it a chord. It's called a chord. So know that the two lines are moving from one part of the side to another side, but one passes the center, the other does not pass the center. So the one that passes the center is called the what? Diameter, while the one that passes without going through the center is called the what? The chord. Are you following now? Another part now that we should look at again in a circle is, if you look at this point now, when you have a center, remember that from here to here is another is what? A radius, right? From here to here is another what? Another radius. So when you have two, it's called a radii. So the singular, at least I'm making your English language now. So the singular is what? Radius. Is radius. Why the plural is what? Is radii. Is radii. So have that at the back of your mind. So you're having two radii now. You don't say radius is radii now. Are we together now? Now look at this now. The space. Okay, let me leave this part now. You see, when you have two radii like this, radii, the 2 points here, the line drawn from one point of a radius on the circumference to another point of the radius on another side of the circumference. This side that you're looking at like this line between two radii, between the points of two radii, you see where this radius is touching here, another is touching here. This point here, this distance here, we call it what is called an arc. It's called an arc. I have it now. So this point here is called what? An arc. This side here, this line here, from one point of the radius here to another point of the radius is called what? An arc. I will together now. Now you see this space here, this space here, this space around this region here, covered by these two radii and this arc like this. You know, remember that the line, this line here is called the what? Arc. But the space, now, not the line, the space here is called the what? Sector. So this is the sector, this is the what? This is the arc. Sector arc. So a sector is a space that is bounded by two radii and an arc. While the line drawn from one point of a radii on the circumference to another point of another radii of another radius on the circumference is called what? An arc. This is an arc here. I was going now. All right. Then, if you now draw that, let me draw that circle again to show this side, to show this part of a circle. You have a center, right? It's called a center, right? Now you draw two radii. Then you have a chord. Remember what a chord is now? A line moving from one point of the circumference to another point on the circumference. It's called a chord. Are you following now? So this is a chord here, and this is what? A radius, two radii now. You see this space here? This space here. You know, not this one like this one now. This remaining space here between this chord and this arc. Remember we call an arc, right? We call it what? A segment. It's called a segment. This is a segment. Let's add that in our mind. This is called a what? A segment. So we have looked at a segment now, a sector, an arc, a radius, a diameter, a chord. Are we together now? So I believe we are all following. So I will drop an exercise also on parts of a circle to know if we've really gotten it. Let me look at another part again of a circle, or another thing about a circle again. If you look at the circle here, you have the center. So at that center there, another regular center. Okay, let me do it in the next. Okay, now at that center over there, you are having you draw a radius like this. Sorry, a radius like this. Then you have another radius that is perpendicular. When you hear the word perpendicular, it means it forms 90 degrees. This is 90 degree. 90 degree. So when two lines join like this and they form 90 degree, they are called perpendicular. So when you have a perpendicular, when you have two radius like this perpendicular, that sector formed by two radii that are perpendicular is called a quadrant. It's called a quadrant. So this space here by two radii that form 90 degree. When two radii form 90 degree, the space formed there is called a quadrant. So when they are perpendicular to themselves like this, it's called a quadrant. Have that in your mind.